All right, let's talk about energy reliability, something that I think a lot of people need to know more about. We've heard already some of the questions concerning energy reliability, energy costs. These are things that are top of mind for people. And here with Springfield's Morning News, I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. We've been touching base with various individuals, including right here in Springfield with City Water, Light, and Power, especially finding out what recent announcements from the Mid-Continent Independent System Operators, I think it is, MISO. And if you recall, they put out a couple of interesting notes several weeks ago, last month, before the summer actually came on, saying that there were going to be some questions about possible rolling blackouts and energy reliability issues. But also, you had the expectation that you'd see more in your power bill, which is something that Ameren has ultimately said would happen and has happened. I know that we've seen in our household energy costs go up anywhere from $40 to $50 more a month. But MISO also made a recent announcement of a pretty large investment. And to talk more about that, let's have a conversation now with Adam Stern. He is with Enel North America. He's with the regulatory team. Adam, thanks for taking time here with Springfield's Morning News. Tell us what MISO's most recent announcement means for people listening this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Greg, and thank you for having me today. Yeah, this is a really important announcement, and it could be an example that the rest of the country and the rest of the grid operators other than MISO can look to as a way to plan how the transmission system can be expanded in a way that resolves the issues that you were just talking about. Right now, as you mentioned, consumers are experiencing extremely high energy prices, as well as the risk of blackouts and other reliability issues. And what MISO is doing now is looking at the long term and planning out a build out of their system to connect more regions together to create more resilience and avoid blackouts, but also lowering energy prices by reducing congestion on the current system.
So when it comes to the investment here, how much are we talking? How long does this play out? Is this a constant thing that they're going to be doing, upgrading things, bringing in more modernized transmission lines? What does this look like to the consumer down the road?
Yeah, good question. Excuse me. This is the first step of, they have 4 total plans to build out the system. This is the tranche 1. And so this will not be ongoing, but this is one large effort that they're splitting up into pieces. So the investment is significant. I think the investment was around $10 billion in total cost. However, in order to approve such a project, there needs to be an extensive and robust benefit cost analysis that MISO needs to go through. And when they did, they found that although the cost was $10 billion, the benefits to consumers far outweighed those costs by almost 3 times. And the benefits that they used to calculate, most of those benefits were due to reduced congestion on the system. So when you have your current system that's full and then there's not much room for that energy to go, that increases costs dramatically, especially during times when everybody's turning their AC on. So when you have more transmission, that can ease out that congestion, almost like easing out a traffic jam. And so with that reduced congestion over time, you're going to see your energy prices go down pretty dramatically.
We're talking with Adam Stern. He is with Enel North America. He's with the regulatory team. And Adam, we hear a lot about, especially in Illinois and across the country, energy costs going up. Some people say it's because of what they say is climate change and just the capacity that's needed to maintain, cool temperatures in homes and whatnot, and businesses, and especially manufacturers that are making goods. They are a major user of energy. But we have others saying that it's policies that governments are putting in place, including in Illinois, where we have a large piece of legislation that says we're gonna have an end to coal-fired power plants by, I think, like 2040 or 2045. And that's leading to some power plants not making investments into the future and possibly even retiring some of these power plants. We've seen that happen. But people critical of that saying that that's why we're going to have increased reliability issues and increased costs as we look towards regulations bringing about more taxpayer investment in green energy and whatnot. Which side's correct here in this conversation?
Yeah, that's a really good question and an important question. And unfortunately, maybe as you predicted, it's not a clear-cut answer. So you're exactly right that Illinois and many other states across the country are looking to reduce their carbon footprint, and you're seeing a lot of retirements of fossil generators. However, we've already seen that trend before these new laws came in place, and that's actually more to do with just basic economics than any type of policy change. Right now, coal and also natural gas are actually pretty expensive, and those prices can be volatile. For example, for natural gas, that price is really set on the global market. And when you have disruptions to the supply, like, for example, the war in Ukraine, that's going to increase prices pretty dramatically. And so when you look at the cost of coal and gas as compared to the cost of wind and solar, which doesn't have any fuel that's needed to produce, it's actually, from an economic perspective, in and of itself, a much cheaper option. And so that's why you've seen a lot of retirements, not just in Illinois, but across the country. And so with those retirements, there needs to be new generation to replace what those power plants were producing. And this is where things change and evolve a little bit, because the coal plant, produce a lot of energy in one spot, but in order to replace that, you might need a few replacements like wind and solar plants, but they won't be in that same location. They might be in other areas. Therefore, that's part of the need to get a transmission system to connect to those regions.
And again, that's what we're talking about here in particular. MISO making a big announcement to invest in energy transmission systems so that we have more grid reliability down the road. Adam Stern is with Enel North America. He's with the regulatory team. Adam, greatly appreciate you taking the time with us this morning. Let's connect again soon, because this is an issue that everybody needs to know about. They want to be able to turn on their light switch and actually have the lights come on. So I think that's something in this civilized society we too often take for granted. So appreciate your time this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.